Yay! Let's get started. Okay, welcome. Let's have some fun, shall we? Because the topic we're going to talk about is really, really delicious. And it's okay, no, this this sounds so lame. Feminine self-care. But trust me, there are so many hidden gems that we'll speak about. And let's call it how to nourish, like deeply nurture, deeply cherish the feminine within. Because as we learn, sorry, the music is a little too loud for me right now. Mm, got it. Okay. As we learn how to really, really embrace the feminine within us, we are living our nature. And when we live our nature, we are a magnet to wealth, to health, to beauty, and to oceans of abundance. Because this is our nature. And when we live our divine blueprint, we are magnetically attractive to the beauty. We attract or we magnetize what we are. And the feminine is abundance itself. It's wealth. It is the ocean, the flow. So this is an exciting topic. So quit this whole self-care thing. It's deep nourishment. And that's one of the most important thing, and probably the most important thing that we as women have to learn. Because when we master that, when we learn how to really take care of that feminine essence, life becomes play. Life becomes a dance. Life becomes easy. Like you see these women sometimes, they are rare. Unfortunately, a rare occurrence, but we're changing that. We're changing that whole paradigm. So we'll see more and more and more of that. But you see these women that are just radiant. They radiate life. They walk through the store and they're just like, you can't stop staring. You can't stop staring because they have an aura of wealth around them. And the aura of wealth is not due to their alpha male qualities. And yes, they probably have that embodied as well, most likely, because that's mastery. But it's that ease. It's that ease. Life is play. It's not that serious. Let's dance, honey. Yeah, it's that aura which is attracting wealth. So we have to learn how to nourish that essence within, because it's something you can learn. It's not something you're born with. I mean, you are born with that, but it's not something you have to be born with. I mean, if you come from a very healthy family lineage, if your DNA is intact, or if you were born into a culture where the polarities are still intact, maybe you were born with that, but it's rare. If we look into the Western world, we're moving away from polarity, or we have been moving away. And the magnetism is what makes life exciting. At least for me, I teach feminine embodiment because that's my journey. So I'm here to embody that feminine pole. And I want that magnetism in my relationship, which means my partner, my man, is here to embody that masculine pole. And so we can dance. If you're in for the androgynous type, that's beautiful, do you, boo. But this channel is about feminine embodiment. So that's what I'm here to teach, because that is juicy, that is fun to me. And so today, when I say the word self-care, it goes so much freaking deeper. And the first step for us is to learn how to cherish and nourish the feminine essence within. And one of the most vital things was for me to understand that, yo, wait, self-care is not some superficial action taking. Yeah. And self-care looks really, really different for my masculine aspect than for my feminine aspect. So that's something to understand. And here is that golden nugget. The masculine recharges by decharging. Okay? The way the masculine fills up his cup is by emptying it out. So you see that, if you're in a relationship, your man could be easily in his man cave and play video games or watch the same freaking like Adam Sandler movie that I don't know, because I grew up in Germany, for like 50 times and be happy and wake up the next morning and is like, okay, and I'm ready to crush it again. That does not work for the feminine. The feminine is not being recharged by wedging out on the couch. That's just not how the feminine works. So the masculine recharges by decharging. The feminine recharges by receiving. All right? Major golden nugget. Like, write that down, like write that on your fucking fridge. Like, whatever you have to do, the feminine recharges by receiving. And now this gets a little tricky. Why? Because most women haven't learned how to receive yet, or they haven't trained themselves how to receive yet. They haven't walked their body into a state of receiving. And I think this is pretty cool, because if we look at it, this whole, okay, the male or the masculine, recharges by like just giving out. It's like also sexually interesting. I mean, okay, this goes deeper. The man also receives sexually, but I think this is cool to just like remember that the man gives out, lets out the energy, and it's like, okay, beautiful. And the woman receives. So are the self-care measurements you're taking, or is that deep cherishing of the feminine, is that present in your life? And do you know how to take things in? Vital gold nugget. Do you know how to take things in? Moments, gestures, services, environments. Do you know how to take things in? That's the feminine. That's the feminine essence. So I wrote a couple things down just to have a little bit of structure here. What are, for me, deeply nourishing states of being? Yeah. Of course, this could be just a meditation. This could just be sitting and receiving. And for some, that comes very naturally. But there are also ways to get yourself in this receptive state, or that help you to come back to the receptive state. And for me, this could be massages. And I love that topic because it's so interesting. I work intimately with women, and my QHHT sessions are different than the usual quantum healing, because I incorporate body work, because nothing reveals wounding as much as the language of your body. So to me, when I work with women, I always involve touch. And I know this from myself, but when I work with women's bodies, some, and again, it's kind of rare. Some women have a really easy time like surrendering and receiving. And that's me. Like, I trained myself that when I receive a massage, you bet I receive that. Like, I'm out. Like, you will hear me moan and groan and hum and move and breathe, and I'm just like yo. The moment I pay for the service and I walk into your space, I want to be pampered and I'm going to be cherished. So thank you for creating this space, and I will take it all in. I trained myself to do that. It wasn't always like that, because before that I was used to Thai massages that's very masculine. Like, if you want to train yourself to receive, do not go to a Thai massage. Just a freaking disclaimer. Like, again, that was my masculine when I was very much so living from my masculine, it's a vital phase. It was important for me. It's not a bad thing. You can't like just learn how to embrace that goddess energy, that fierce femininity, that essence of the lioness, without learning how to be a man, or without learning how to nourish the masculine within. So back then I would go to Thai massages and they freaking rape you. Like, and I thought it was good. I thought the harder it is, the better. I thought the more it hurts, the better. And it's the absolute opposite. And everyone who's really masterful with bodies will tell you that. That's why people who really work with the deep layers of your body, they prep your body. And trust me, you have to be aware, because you need to give the body at least, like, if you want to work with deep tissue, you have to give it at least 15-20 minutes. And if you get up in the first like 20 minutes and you go too deep, the body closes off, and then it takes a long while to open the body back up, and you might not even be able to do that in that session. So it's the total opposite of a Thai massage. Okay, so I'm speaking about a sensual deep tissue massage, but with someone who really knows what they're doing. And so you can leave that two ways, and you'll get it. There's a reason why I'm talking so much about that. I have women that leave the table, and that's also me, and I'm just like, the fuck was that? I'm forever transformed. Like, I'm like, oof, okay. Like, I am full, I am vibrant, I'm radiant. Like, if I enter a massage, and even if it's a really crappy one, which at this point doesn't happen, I will make sure that I get my slice or my whole cheese cake, whatever. Okay, I will leave transformed. And so when I work with women, my work is like, I'm in it. So it's pretty much the same. Of course, if someone allows me to go deeper, I can drop in deeper. But some women leave the session, the quantum healing session, the massage, and they're like, whoa, I can't even speak. Like, I don't even know. There are no words. Like, and no words are needed. And there are some women that walk away with, yeah, that was great. And throughout the massage, they are like a piece of wood, a stick, a stone. They don't move. They don't make any noises. They don't breathe. Like, I hear nothing. There is no moaning. There is just so much restriction. And I could shower them with love. And in the moment where I touch their bodies, there is so much pure love that I have to share. But they are closing themselves off to receiving it, which is so interesting for me to observe. Because here I am, the love that I vibrate in these moments, because every time we enter a quantum healing session, it is a very sacred space. And there is no personality of Melissa. It is just replaced by or not replaced, but there's just me and my essence, and then that purity of the love that's coming from the essence. So there is so much honey to absorb, and a lot of women do not know how to do that. And that it's sad for me to watch. It's really sad, because these are also the women that say, well, there are no good men around, or it's too late for a relationship for me, or the women that just constantly give, but they don't really give, because when you don't know how to receive, there's nothing authentic you're giving. It's weird, like, to be honest with you. If you're one of them who's like, I always give, no one wants what you have. I'm sorry. That might be really straight to the point, but that's true. If you don't know how to receive, but you tell yourself that you're constantly giving, no one wants what you have in the first place, because it comes from a inauthentic place. And so that makes me sad for these women, and I want to love them, and I want to also shake them, but there's nothing that I can do if they have decided that this shield is not going to be broken. Okay? And that's very vital. If someone doesn't want to be loved, if they decided that it's not safe to let love in, if they decided that life can't be trusted and they're really holding on to it, there's no point of working with these people. And this is, again, you'll see that there is a reason I'm speaking so much about that, because that example of the massage and receiving, there's so much in that. So these women also are the ones that come into a session and they crave a relationship and they crave intimacy, and yet they don't know how to even create it. We as women, you are intimate. Like, the feminine is naturally intimate, because the feminine she works in the lower layers of the body, in the root, in the sacral. Like, everything that is bodily is intimate, because it's authentic connection. And these women say that they crave that, and yet when they get it, they don't know how to soak it up, soak it in. And that's sad, because that's the whole point. It's available right now. You can create it right now. Okay? And so with that, one of the next beautiful examples is coaching. Let me tell you, nothing is more of a waste of time than someone who's entering a healing session, a coaching session, or a service and whatsoever, and instead of receiving, they're freaking micromanaging the whole thing. And I had that plenty of times, more so in the beginning, because now I'm just like, if I feel that in any way, like, no, just no. And again, a lot of women have that. And it's like, why are you booking a freaking session in the first place? That is so distortedly masculine. And it's like, let me give you an example. Like, don't be a German engineer. Like, don't be a German engineer when you come to a freaking healing session. Like, the worst thing is like people who are looking out for someone that can hold the space for them, but then they want to create the space. It's a waste of energy, time, and it's the most annoying thing. Like, I had this one guy, like, fucking God bless his soul, precious being, so precious, highly intelligent, like on a genius level, but German engineer. So he was approaching me for a session, and that's also one of the reasons why I rarely work with men. Rarely. I learned my lessons, and I want to work with women, because the thing is, when I am in this teacher role, when I am in the space holder role, I am the masculine. I create the container. That means I am in my masculine, because I have to make sure that you can receive, that you can surrender. And if I'm in my feminine, how I'm not holding a safe enough space for your surrender. So automatically, every time you enter a coaching session, even if the person is holding space for feminine embodiment, she or he will step into the masculinity so you can go into it. Yeah. So there's nothing, again, more annoying than someone who then attempts to compete. So in this example of this beautiful German engineer, like, homie, okay, love him, like, shout out to you if in any case you see that, because you know I'm speaking to you, because that was just recently where I'm like, really, okay, I'm done with men. I'm done working with men. Not I'm done with men, but I'm done working intimately with men in quantum healing sessions, because it's just doesn't work out. Or it didn't in the past. Whatever, you get the point. So what he did was he was basically asking me a question, and instead of receiving the answer, he was micromanaging my answer. Like, he was basically saying, well, I get where you're coming from, but what you should have done is you should have sent me this, and you should have given me advice on how to do this. And when I saw this, I'm like, no, we're done, because you don't know how to receive right now. And this is an interesting dynamic, when he's the masculine, the man, and I'm the woman. Like, it's probably an interesting dynamic for him to surrender to my masculine, but that would have been very important for him. And if he actually, without like freaking micromanaging, controlling it and running it through his mental realm, if his feminine knew how to receive, he would have gotten a very transformative session. But instead, he was literally cock blocking himself. And I'm like, no, the session is not happening because I can't work like that. I am not able to break through this layer. And so the same with women. That's why I'm saying, don't be a German engineer when you come to a coaching session or when you want to learn something, because you're not going to learn it. And there's a big difference. Again, this is masculine and feminine. And I mean, I get where he's coming from, like, that's the role of the masculine. So I get it. That's the beauty of the two polarities. And as I see it in my partner, when we watch a documentary, or we both love Mind Unveiled, it's just like, I just love this channel. But when we watch that together, it's so interesting to see the different reactions. Or when we listen to an audiobook or teachings, whatever, if I decide to engage in that, I energetically already have the go. It already feels right to me to listen to this. So I'm just going to be like, shower me with this information. Like, I'm all about energy transmissions. I don't care really about the words. I'm just soaking it in. And while I'm soaking it in, I'm not necessarily running it through my mental realm and listen to all the words and make sure that my brain agrees with everything. In that moment, I'm just in a receiving mode. And it's so interesting because we are listening to the same content, and he's next to me and he's like, but that is wrong because, and he's like, yeah, but, And so while he's processing the information on a mental realm and is already like kind of like gatekeeping. And that's beautiful. It's freaking beautiful. It makes me feel so safe. Yeah. Because he's questioning everything. And that's very masculine. It's very like, okay, let me see what you have to say. And I'm just over there like, okay, let me like, ooh, like, I'm soaking it in on a subconscious level. So, and again, it's not always black and white. I'm just saying these are the ways that you can do it the feminine way, or you can do it the masculine way. And so if you're a woman and you are willing and ready to come back to a life of like actual pleasure, you want to be in your feminine most of the time. That's nothing new. I know there are many people who tell you that, but it's rare. I live in Sedona and I go to the supermarket. Usually the women I see, it's rare if there's a woman that catches my eye because she's just like there in her femininity. It's rare. It happens, but it's rare. So this information, we need to embody it. So If you enter a coaching session, but there's a part of you that just does not know how to surrender, that wants to compete with this person, that wants to make sure that everything this person is saying is right, or like also like so annoying. Sorry, I'm not sorry, because it's annoying. My husband is a husband. It's my man. He's not my husband yet. He's it came so natural. I love that. So he's a psychic. And he's a professional psychic, and he does tarot readings more masterful than anything I ever witnessed. So people call him for tarot readings, but they have this attitude, and it's like he works mostly with women, and the attitude is like, okay, prove to me that this is real. Okay, show me what you've got. And when that happens, I'm like, honey, you just wasted $200. Like, you just wasted his time and your time. And usually, I mean, he's masterful, so he can break through that, because right off the bat, if something like that happens, he's like, hey, listen, this is not how this works. We are engaging in unison, and I am not here to prove anything to you. If you're willing and if you truly want to receive information, we're doing this together. So, like, you know, when he like drops cards and the people are like, no, that doesn't resonate. No, that doesn't resonate. But like 5 minutes later, they're like, ooh, yeah, shit, actually, that is that. And so it's like, when I witness that, it's just don't waste your time. And same with coaching sessions. Like, if you're not willing to actually go deep, and you're just constantly telling me how great your life is, well, sweetheart, why are you calling me? Well, sweetheart, why are we in this session together? I can feel the shield of you. There is no actual pleasure running through your body. Your sexual body is shut down. So don't pretend like everything is fine, because that's a waste of my time and it's a waste of yours. And so that's it. It won't happen to me. And also, this is what I learned. It doesn't matter what kind of quality coach or person you have in front of you, because when I decide that I am going to get whatever I need out of the session, I will. And it doesn't fucking matter who's in front of me. It really doesn't. I've had sessions with coaches that were not embodied and annoying, to be honest. And I still got so much out of the session, because I'm like, all I need is someone to hold space. And you hold the space, beautiful. You don't have to be embodied. You just have to care. And that's literally it. As long as the person can create a masculine container and cares, you trust me, every time you enter anything and you exchange, or you not even exchange, you invest, you will get it out. And so this also completely liberated me from any insecurities that I had around holding space. Like, in the beginning, when I started with QHHT, I was so insecure. I was so scared. Like, I wanted to, like I felt so unworthy, and I wanted to create the most beautiful space for people. But the more I worked with other people, I realized, honestly, the moment someone makes up their heart and mind and is certain and is ready to let go of stuff and ready to drop everything that isn't their essence, they will. And it really doesn't matter who's in front of them. So the feminine is the student. The feminine comes with a student attitude. Okay, the masculine is the teacher. That does not mean that the feminine doesn't teach. But the student is in the receptive mode, while the teacher is penetrating. So learn how to be a student. Know how to be a student. Because if you don't know how to be a student, your masculine will just basically analyze all the words that are being spoken without feeling the energy transmission behind it. And in the best case scenario, the energy transmission and the words, they just go together. So it's a very wholesome transmission. But in the end, if the words don't, but the energy is there, it doesn't matter, because 90% of it is the energy transmission. But if you don't know how to be a student, which means if you don't know how to receive, if you don't know how to let in and be the feminine, you're only receiving these 10%, but these freaking 90% would have changed your whole paradigm. So that's vital. Gold nuggets. Gold nuggets. Okay, so what are ways to really cherish that feminine within? And again, if you are used to a very masculine existence, it's not that you're going to take a bath and you're transformed. This is momentum. This takes time. It's like a flower that right now she's in the earth because you haven't really nourished that seed. So the same with the feminine. It takes more than a week of focus or more than a week of cherishing. Yeah, if you really cherish your feminine essence for a week, you might have a little tiny sprout poking out. But if you want that freaking like jasmine or rose or whatever, lotus flower, oof, it takes some time. Wait, I think lotus flowers, don't they grow on water? So maybe that's not the best example, but it is. Yeah. That is constant nourishment. That is a constant decision that the feminine within me has priority, and my feminine essence is daily cherished. So some of the ways that I receive need structure. Like, it's not that superficial. So my whole diet is set up to support my hormones. So that's one way, okay? Diet. If you eat like crap, if you eat gluten, if you like just flush yourself with caffeine every day, you can take as many freaking Epsom salt baths or whatever as you want to. You're not going to be able to receive. That's just a fact. We have to work on all dimensions. So we start with the physical dimension. What's the routine? Do you have a routine set up where your feminine can flourish? And for me, that means I have to get up a little earlier. Sometimes I like to sleep in, but when I sleep too long, and it's that, again, I'm referring to the organ clock. If I sleep until 8:30 and I wake up, I'm already in like creative work mode. And I'm not going to force myself into a meditation. That's just not natural. But when I wake up at 6, all my body wants to do is just lay down, explore, touch, do like an energetic practice. That's in flow for me when I wake up at 6:30. It's not in flow for me when I wake up at like 8 or 9. And that's, again, connected to the organ clock because my body is already in like creative mode. Okay. So set yourself up for nourishing time. Yeah. Create a schedule that allows you to relax. And that could be a set time, like the morning. The start of the day, the rising, is your grand rising. So can you create space? The first hour is for my feminine sexuality. How do I create space around that? That's a non-negotiable. That's one way. Setting up actually your physical structure so you can take time for that deep nourishment. The diet. Yeah. Honoring the different hormonal phases and nourishing different hormones at different points in your cycle. That's really like taking care of your feminine. Then my feminine loves nature time. She loves it. Nature makes her wet. Okay? And that's us really learning with Mother Nature to get out of this, honestly, rape consciousness. to pure pleasure. When you are in your feminine, when you have your nature time, when you are full, you are just in sexual arousal. That's just your natural state. And that's purity. And before that, and I'm just giving you my example, and that's why I use the word rape consciousness, the way I raised myself and the way I grew up, I was very, very damaged by porn, and my connection, or my sexual connection, was very damaged. And the only way I would get aroused was through really distorted shit. And it's because I trained my body to respond to that. And this goes, I mean, this is not a video about sexual trauma, because this stuff goes really, really deep, and it's bigger than this life, and it's collective and multidimensional. Okay, this is a very deep topic, which is not the topic of today. But the only way I would feel sexual arousal was through really distorted stuff, really extreme stuff. So this is why I call that rape consciousness. I was sexually aroused when the feminine got raped. Like energetically, physically, in any way. Like that was a turn on to me, because there were very distorted geometries in my sacral. Nature makes me wet now. Beauty makes me wet. Safety makes me wet. Okay, and that's coming back to a pure sexual consciousness. So give your feminine as much nature time as you can. And I know it's not everyone lives in freaking Sedona, Arizona, where nature is just all around. Some of us live in cities, but can you at least like make that symbolic drive to the park? Yeah. Or can you on weekends go out in nature, go out into the green, go out into the forests, like jump in the river, visit hot springs, whatever this is for you, just be in nature. Is that possible? Because trust me, your feminine will soak it up. And now, okay, the best combo is naked water, nature. That's just like, nothing's more healing than that. So my activities to nourish the feminine are hot springs. But if that's not available, can I immerse myself in a Epsom salt bath and really feel it? Like really feel it? Can I just be? Yeah, make a tea and just really cherish myself. Yeah, maybe that is putting on laundry afterwards, lighting some candles, and dancing just for you and the goddess. No freaking performance. No performance. Just dance for the nurturing of your body. How would the goddess express herself in movement? Yeah, so dancing. Dancing isn't naturally feminine in essence, or not naturally nourishing your feminine. If you go and dance and all you do is you're concerned with how you look and you dance to perform, that's not going to nourish your feminine. And that's also dancing, but these are two very different dimensions. I forgot her name, but I love that YouTube channel. I sometimes make it like a 30-day challenge of twerking. And there's just this freaking gorgeous Jamaican, like, goddess doesn't even cut it, man. Like, it doesn't even cut it. She's just, damn, mama. Like, what the, I forgot her name. I will link her down below. Like, I don't know. I can't think of it yet, even though I watch her so many times, or I've watched her so many times. Yeah, so like that, like twerk, like move your pelvis and just move for yourself. Learn how to isolate your pelvis, learn how to isolate your hips, learn how to isolate your sacrum. These can be very nourishing activities if you do it for you. Or again, if you're in your masculine and you do it to perform for the masculine, this is not going to fill up your cup. Singing. Again, we can sing and get nothing from it, or we can learn how to access the depth of your voice. Two different things. I can put on a song that I listen to and try to sing it just like the singer does it, or I can really see, well, how deep does this go? Because when you unlock your true voice, which is probably louder and deeper than you expected, you also free up that whole channel. You free up the whole channel from truly sacral root up to throat. Like you just blast all of the BS out of it. So if your body carries a lot of trauma, man, singing will clear it all. There is nothing more potent than your voice. Your voice is truly your most potent healing device. But if I sing from my throat, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to be a nourishing activity. You're not going to fill up your cup when you sing from your throat. It's like when you like this, what the fuck? It doesn't do anything. Different. And it takes time for me to tap into that. But you see, different spaces. It doesn't always have to sound good. It's not about that. And let me tell you, throat never sounds good. If you sing from your throat, it always sounds artificial. It never sounds good. So explore that. And in that, that is nourishing. You will find that the feminine is cherished in that. She's literally sound bathing herself, man. That's what I'm speaking about when I speak about singing. Whew. So these are just some examples. So self-care isn't getting the nails done. And it can, it's a nice thing to have these nails, but to go, you can go there in two different ways. You can go there and you can receive and you can be like, yes, Jenny, do them. Woo! Look at that. Or you can go there and join some freaking gossip and complain and do whatever and leave this nail salon as you did before, stressed, okay? You can nourish yourself in any situation. You can go to a restaurant and just feel nourished. Yes, dear waiter, freaking pamper me, do it. Yup. I'm just here chilling. You're not gonna hear me complain. I'm gonna be happy. I'm just gonna I'm gonna laugh with you. I'm gonna have a good time. Or you can go to a restaurant like this and you're like, waiter, and you can complain about every freaking little thing. And that's usually, if you go into a restaurant like that, your food won't taste good or the service is going to be crappy. You decide. And again, if you are in any way rude to a waiter, I don't F with you at all. Okay. That's there's nothing that I hate more than someone who treats waiters like crap. Okay. And it's in the end, it's your bad because you decide. You could have a fun conversation. You could have a fun experience. Waiters are immaculate space holders. Literally every waiter, not every, but most waiters, if you go to a restaurant and you go in there with the modality of I'm going to have a freaking good time and this is going to be fun, you will have the time of your life because waiters hold space. They create an experience for you. Again, if you are trying to micromanage every single thing and it's oh, it's been 10 minutes, where's my food? Or I didn't order that in there, oh, but whatever, you're not going to have a good time. That's on you. That's on you, boo. Learn how to receive. Learn how to nurture yourself. That's on you. So what are signs? What are crystal clear signs that your feminine isn't being cherished enough? You don't, and we went through some of them, but I just want to recap because this is really vital. You don't naturally feel sexually aroused. When our cup is full, okay, when we are just like in our zone, our natural state of being is sexual arousal. There is nothing that anyone else has to do. My sexual arousal is solely my job. No one else's job. It's not my partner's job. It's not my man's job to get me sexually aroused. Yeah. That doesn't mean that he's not going to spend a long, long time devouring the flower and all of that. That's different. I'm saying if we are cherishing our feminine, in the best case scenario, we already enter every space sexually aroused because that's just our natural way of being. Now, I want to be realistic. Depending on where we're at in life, that's not possible, okay? Sometimes maybe things get a little too masculine, you know? Sometimes we immerse ourselves in business or masculine activities, and it takes some time coming back. That's all right. What we're learning right now is to solely like pay attention and know how to get back into this feminine zone. So our natural state, the natural state of the feminine is sexual arousal. Like everything is arousing. That's just the natural state of her. So if you don't ever feel sexually aroused, if that is a very foreign feeling to you, and it only happens when you kind of like show my boobs. When you kind of just mechanically force it through whatever, porn or a self-pleasure practice. Like I want to vomit when I hear this word. Like self-care and self-pleasure practice. Like I just want to vomit when I hear that. Yeah. It has its place, but damn, like I already want to feel it before I even get into it. I already want to feel it. But you can open yourself up like that. So again, if sexual arousal is foreign to you, or it's only induced through distorted eroticism, it's a sign that your feminine isn't safe and she isn't nourished. So a stable nervous system is vital, okay? There's no sexual arousal if we have an unstable nervous system. And that's just evolutionary logic. If we are in survival mode, like let's go back because our body is still like programmed from 1,000, 2,000, I don't know, maybe millions of years ago. Who knows? I don't know about the timelines. And I don't know if the timelines are true. So whatever, our body is ancient, and it's ancient technology, evolutionary standpoint and survival. If my nervous system is getting the signs of, yo, it seems like we're constantly in danger, she shouldn't make love right now and she shouldn't procreate right now because right now we're just fighting for survival. And that's what's happening to the feminine in a lot of ways. Like money became the predator for a lot of us. Yeah, the scarcity of money became the panther or the whatever is eating us or was eating us back then. The freaking giant mountain lion that existed. The scarcity of money became that mountain lion and all of that other BS. So when your nervous system thinks you're in danger, you're not going to be flowing, soaking wet. You're not going to be aroused because your body doesn't want you to procreate. And for a lot of women that experience miscarriages or can't get pregnant, that if your body isn't naturally sexually aroused, that's a sign. So those who can't get pregnant are also those who probably don't feel a lot of sexual arousal. So that's when we have to work on the nervous system. And again, that's a whole topic for itself. But if you're super interested in it, look into the endocannabinoid system and get yourself some full spectrum hemp oil. Okay. And again, like that, of course, on top of an immaculate diet. Raw living foods, is it for me? That's just, it makes the most sense. I've been all of it. At this point, a mostly vegan, raw living food diet just feels like life to me and feels most nourishing. So that another sign is that you're not cherishing your feminine, is that you're not being romanced, that you're not being like wined and dined and like cherished by the masculine, that you're not experiencing sexually like magnetic charge in your relationships, and you're not experiencing eroticism. Okay. If you're in a relationship, and if you're not in a relationship, like you're not being approached or you're not being romanced, that's a big sign. Because again, that's what I was sharing with the massage example. I can be a channel and a body of pure love. The person in front of me is doing this. There's no way to get in. And so the same for a man. Like a true man in his masculinity, man, like a alpha, like a true alpha, will like naturally want to like spoil, and spoil is a crappy word. It's like, what, spoiled or rotten? No, like F that. But he would want to naturally freaking cherish, devour, pamper the feminine. But if you are not radiating feminine essence, a real man is not going to try to break you open. A real man is not going to like try to get into that core. It's all right if there is some fear, if there is some trauma. That's beautiful to work through that to get together. But if your base resonance is closed offness and a masculine shield, like, wouldn't it be freaking twisted if a man wanted to romance that? If a man wanted to wine and dine that? If a man wanted to like embrace that? That makes no sense. So if you are not seeing in your reality that you're being cherished by the man, the masculine in your life, deeply respected, just like pampered, if that is not happening, it's because you are not cherishing your own feminine. And again, never play the blame game. If your partner, if you are already in a partnership, if you are in your feminine, you naturally inspire the masculine to take care of that. Okay. When you are in your essence, you are magnetizing. You're just magnetizing. That's what I was saying. Like, everyone is staring at you. Your partner just wants to like take care of you and like give you the things that he wants to man up for you, and he will meet you in that. He will meet you in that. So if that's not occurring, or if that's not like occurring like at least 70% of the time, something's very, very off balance. Whew. You don't sing or hum. That's a nice subconscious way to check. Because when you're in your like enjoyment, when you're in your feminine, when you're in your play, your body will express itself. Your body will hum or sing just naturally. Like, watch children. They constantly make noises. They're constantly like either moving or like dancing. Like, look at the way they move through life. Like, they don't walk through life like robots. They do rolls to get to one to the next place. They dance from one to the next place. They jump from one to the next place. More of that. More of that. And they sing and they hum and they make noises and they scream and they laugh and they cry and they just express themselves. So if you catch yourself that you're walking through life like without that enjoyment, without that humming, singing, or when the song comes on, when the beat comes on and your body doesn't feel like expressing, like something's off. Something's off. Okay? Like when I'm in my feminine, it's just like everything is enjoyable. And my body will want to express that verbally. And that shows that beautiful connection to sacral and throat, because that's like literally the mirror. The throat is the mirror of the sacral is the mirror of the throat. So that's one channel. And if you're sexually, again, in traumatized, it shows up in the way you express yourself. It shows up in the way you're singing. So that's one way. The next thing, movement. How do you walk through life? Like, do you walk robotically and learn not to swing your hips too much because it's dangerous? Or do you walk through life like poetry and freaking motion? The feminine, like that's her catwalk. Life is her catwalk. Life is her lioness walk. F the catwalk, it's the lioness walk. Okay? So she moves through life with movement. And again, that's a tough one to break because I trained myself to move very efficient, like the masculine. Like, okay, like Alexander is like, I only know one speed and that's fast. So it's like when he's on his own, like doing grocery shopping or whatever, it literally takes him 2 minutes. Like when he leaves the house and he needs something, it takes 2 minutes. Like he runs into Whole Foods, he knows exactly what he wants, and he's out. 2 minutes, man. Unless he's joking with the cashier, like then it takes longer. But or he meets people. But usually, like when he's in his go mode, when he's in his get shit done mode. Sorry, it's like, I swear it so much to all the video, it doesn't really matter. But when he's in his get things done mode, he's in and out in like 2 minutes. That's his like military walk. That's not you, boo. We don't have to do that. That's not us. The feminine like stops at all the fruits and she smells the fruits and it takes 45 minutes. Okay, and she walks through life with grace. Now, of course, there are moments when you're on a like time crunch or you're on the way to the airport. It would be mental illness to do that. Yeah, sometimes your masculine comes out and also gets things done. You also have the masculine, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. But take yourself back into more of an enjoyment. Can I move like I'm poetry in motion? And how would I move when I'm that? Okay, life is just more fun and juicy. Whew. Another one, over talking. Over talking. Again, if you over talk means if you talk too much and you share too much detail, it's a sign that your throat chakra is off balance. There are distorted geometries found in your throat chakra. And again, if that's happening, it's happening in the sacral because they are mirrors. Gold nugget here. Sacral and throat are mirroring each other. They are mirroring. So if you're over talking, you're probably not, you probably have some wounding sexually. Okay, that's actually not necessarily true. Sorry, I have to take that back. Okay, sorry, I have to completely take that back. Because, Yeah, I have to take that back. Sorry, I don't want to state anything that isn't true, because I was thinking like my man, he and he knows that. Like, he sometimes has this tendency to absolutely overtalk and share way too much detail, but his feminine essence is so receptive sexually. So that's, yeah, that's not necessarily true. So sorry, I take that back. But over talking is a sign that you're not in your feminine. I am talking a lot right now because I'm in that masculine space right now, because I'm kind of like teaching or training. So I'm sharing. So yes, I'm speaking a lot. If you see me in life, I don't talk much. My partner usually speaks. Like, I don't overtalk. I listen. I listen. And when I'm in conversations, I'm not eager to get the space to talk. I listen and I soak in, I receive. So if you find yourself just constantly over talking, do you receive well? Do you know how to receive? That's a sign that maybe you're not in your feminine essence. Okay? Talk less. Talk less. Nothing is unsafer to me than someone who doesn't know how to listen and doesn't know when to stop talking. That's just such a disconnected interaction to me. Like, when I'm with someone and the person just keeps on speaking and speaking and speaking without listening to me, or not even to me, without listening into the now, into the moment, to see what's actually like there, that's very unsafe. That's a very disembodied person, and you don't want to be disembodied. You want to be embodied and you want to be safe. What music are you listening to? Ooh, big one, like big one. There was a time when I lived back in Germany and I was just like crushing workouts every day. All I listened to was freaking trap rap. And I'm like, what the, like, what is that? What is that? Because I was so in my masculine, and my masculine was like, yeah, I only listen to real stuff. And I was like lifting weights and I was so angry and I was so sad. So I caught myself listening to so much trap rap, and I'm like, man, okay, what will my feminine listen to? My feminine loves smooth R&B. My feminine loves like African, Nigerian pop. My feminine loves Afro beats. My feminine loves something to whine to. My feminine loves some sassy R&B, like some Ari Lennox type style. Like, so I'm like, wait, like, what is this? Like, if you went through my playlist, it was like freaking ridiculous. Like you would think I'm damn, like, I'm a freaking hustler, like out in the streets. And I'm like, why am I listening to this all of the time? Like, it's great. It doesn't make my system feel safe. And most songs were also like probably about like mistreating the feminine. So it's like, what am I listening to? And at this point, do I listen to it sometimes when I'm crushing a heavy ass workout in my young face? Yeah, I will, because it's fun, but I'm aware. And sometimes the lyrics are just too like freaking abusive. I can't listen to it. But yeah, what music are you listening to? Big one. Another sign is you eat super fast, and cooking is a stressful act rather than enjoyment. If you eat super fast and cooking is stress rather than exciting play, you're messing up, baby girl. You're messing up. You're not cherishing your feminine, because your feminine will eat food like it's a freaking foreplay. Okay? She will like savor it. She will eat fruit. Like, in fact, eat fruit. Or eat something that is like very erotic to eat. That's just fun. Play with that. Get messy. Make it fun. Make cooking fun. And I saw that in myself. And again, I'm speaking about these things because I went through them. Like, I worked as a waitress, so I was like, or in the restaurant hospitality arena for most of my life. So it's like this kind of like, oh, I was like starving for the whole shift, and now I'm just like eating and getting as much in as I can in 5 minutes because I have to go back to work. So that like it's still so ingrained for me, and it's probably older than this life. Okay. Slow down, woman. Another one, you're not breathing like I just did. I got overly excited. The feminine breathes. Okay. So cooking is enjoyable. So I realized that when I was cooking for friends, and so I had the whole Sunday, I was off, I was super flexible. So I started prepping our dinner at like 1 in the afternoon, and there was just no stress, no time crunch. And I put on my favorite music. I was dancing, I was singing, I was chopping these veggies. And I'm like, that was just so much fun. It was so much fun. And then the next day I was cooking with my partner, and like he had like to juggle several things because his chicken was on the grill and he was doing these things, and all of a sudden I was like in like chef mode, like super stressed out. And I'm like, wait, what is this? I'm not in the fucking like back of a Vietnamese restaurant. Like, why am I doing this? Like, chill, like have fun, relax. Start a little earlier, eat a little later if need be, but don't stress, and like have fun. Turn on some music, turn on your favorite documentary or whatever, and like chop the veggies and make it fun. Infuse your food with love, don't infuse it with stress. So if cooking is a chore for you, you're not doing it right, baby girl. You're just not. Maybe you can get more creative. And I get it, sometimes when we're on a budget, maybe we can't like right now, this is momentary. Maybe right now we can't get the fanciest ingredients, and maybe cooking is not that fun, but can you make it a little more fun? Can you structure your meals so there is enough money for some really fun stuff? It doesn't have to be crazy. Like maybe you can just add one exciting thing. Maybe it doesn't have to be this whole gourmet thing. Maybe it's a very basic meal, but you add that one little tiny treat to it. There are ways for sure. Everyone around you is too slow. That's a sign that your feminism isn't being cherished, and you're very much in your masculine. Again, like, do you know these women that are in the bag behind you and they're like huffing and puffing because you're at the cash register? And I'm like, homie, woman, chill, relax. It's so unsexy. And I get it. Maybe you have places to go to, but you haven't mastered your energies yet. Because even if you have places to go to, how about you come over and like a queen, either energetically be like, hey, sorry, I really have this place where I need to be. Do you mind if I go in front? Like, that's feminine, that's goddess-like, okay? And probably if you carry yourself like that, everyone will let you go. Maybe you don't even have to say anything. But if you're in this like huffing and puffing and this like energetically pushing on the person in front of you, that's not a good look. That's not fun. Like, who wants to devour that? Who wants to romance that? It's a sign you're not in your feminine. And the huffing and puffing has never made it faster, okay? So that's a big one. Everyone is too slow. Well, maybe you're moving a little too fast. Maybe you should slow down and smell the goddamn roses, as my teacher would say. Smell the goddamn roses. Ooh. Okay, another one. Do you nurture your hormones and phases? It's a big one. Like masculine, they function on testosterone like just most of the time. The feminine has a very complex cycle. So there are times where you have to maybe eat different or introduce different activities. Like I know I meet so many women recently who are not into like working out, and they're like, if I work out like that, or if I like hit weights like that, I grow a dick. And I'm like, yeah, not really. There are different phases. To me, a very feminine body is a strong body. To me, I respect you if you have a really plump booty. And that's evolutionary. That's evolutionary. To me, a woman isn't frail. A woman is curvy. A woman is strong. Like a woman without a strong booty and strong legs is just not fun. It's just not fun to me. I don't like frail. I like thick. Thick in all the right places, and all the places are right. So when I hear these women who are like, yeah, I don't know, I'm like, this is not feminine, like working out isn't feminine. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't fucking like break your record while you're bleeding. Maybe that's not the smartest thing. But in your young phase, like in the middle of the cycle, when you're basically running on testosterone, everything is allowed. 3-day water fasts are great in that phase. You can hit the workouts as hard as you want. Like this is your trap rap phase, okay? This is when you crush. This is when you set a new record in the gym. And maybe the week around your bleeding or before you're bleeding isn't that. That's when you dance. That's when you like immerse yourself in water. That's when you go to the sauna. That's when you do red light therapy, heat treatment. That's when you dance or stretch, do yin yoga, okay? But this whole like, yeah, I don't work out like that. I'm not a man, okay? But you're also not a strong woman then, okay? To me, it's like when I see a woman with a booty, there's just automatically you have my respect. You automatically have my honor. I don't care who you are. If you have a thick, fat, muscular booty, you have my honor. And that's just evolutionary, because that's a strong, healthy body. Like it's not just a weird obsession like that everyone is into big booties. It's evolutionary. Because when you have massive glutes, basically your whole body is safe. Like your whole body is healthy. If you have strong, massive glutes, your back is healthy, and you're just a safe woman. Like you can run if need be, and you will give birth, and this is no problem for you. Like you have great hips. Like that's evolutionary. So this whole like, I don't work out as a man. Yeah, maybe don't work out like a man freaking like 30, 31 days a month, but maybe 13 days a month, or 15 days a month. And also, if you don't, please follow Trap Yoga Bay. I think that's her name on Instagram. She is just like an inspiration, like another, like queen doesn't even cut it. Goddess doesn't even cut it. It's above. It's like, some upper level divinity stuff, okay? You'll see that hitting heavy weights can be feminine. Like to me, to make lifting heavy more fun, I listen to music that I can whine to, that I can twerk to. And I do that. I loosen my hips throughout the heavy weight. So when I do a crazy ass squat, I try to like move and shake and twerk a little afterwards to like just move the energy. So there are ways. And okay, last one. Signs that you are not cherishing the feminine is you do not have an practice or a meditation regarding your feminine or sexual energy. That's a really, really big one. Like I see a lot of women women doing all of this breath work. Again, it's cool, but it's very masculine. Like, what are practices to cultivate your sexual energy as a woman? That's vital. This is what will make sure you are healthy up until the age of 200 years or older. Okay? This will make sure if your sexual organs are healthy, if you know how to move the sexual energy, transform it into chi. accessible, know how to like form your spirit body through your feminine sexuality. That is so vital as we are ascending, as we are living in higher dimensions. That's vital to establish that practice and to be able to feel the subtle energy movement. If you don't feel the subtle energy movements, it's a sign that your feminine isn't cherished and nourished. And again, I have to work on that as well. I have to be more consistent with that. But that's also a really vital thing. So check out the OG Mantak Chia. The ovarian breathing is a foundational practice. And I also have a beautiful meditation uploaded, the organ meditation, so beautiful. Okay, so these are practices to get in touch with your more subtle energy, your subtle energy body, your organs, your sexual organs, your womb. Okay, what's your connection to your womb? Okay, beautiful. That was a lot for today. That was a lot, but there were so many golden nuggets if you were able to receive them. I love you all so much. My website is sedonagoddess.com. If you are interested in a quantum healing session, I'm available for them, either online, or if you are planning on a visit to Sedona, plan ahead and we can book an in-person session, which is the way I love to work. Like, I love intimate in-person sessions. There's just nothing that I'd rather do. I love my Zoom sessions. They are really effective. They are beautiful. I'm also currently creating certain, guiding packages or guardianship packages to like work on a more long-term basis, like 3 months, to really like get some energy moving and to really make some changes. But again, I love my QHHT sessions and I love the in-person sessions because this way I get to really work with your system. I get to work with your body. And yeah, so SedonaGoddess.com, because Sedona is teaching us how to be and embody the goddess. That is the name. Like, I didn't call myself the Sedona goddess, even though there is, of course, an ancient, luscious, fierce goddess within me. But that's not why I called it that. It is because Sedona is, the energies are feminine and truly assisting in that process. So that's where the name came from. And I didn't create that name to begin with, and that was the beauty. My man had that name or the website saved, and he had it for over 5 years. And then we met, and he's like, "Yeah, I have this web page called Sedona Goddess," and I just saved the domain name. And like, people offered him 3K, 4K for that, because it's such a beautiful domain name. But he was like, "No, it's for someone," and it turned out it was for me. So that was very feminine. Like, I didn't even have to go out and create it. The name came to me and the website came to me. Like, good job, Alyssa. That was very feminine of you to just let things come to you, to just magnetically attract them. Like, very feminine of you. Okay, I love you so, so much. And leave stuff in the comment section, questions, whatever. I love you.